We may think of bondage as a thing of the past, but human trafficking is very much alive and well. Please be warned, some of the things you'll hear in this targeted investigation may surprise you.
You are a 15-year-old Iraqi woman named Mary. You are brought to a house and told that you will work as domestic help.
You're scared and want to try to escape, but you cannot speak much English.
This is Stop Traffic, a student organization at the University of Missouri formed to educate the public on an issue it feels is being overlooked.
Human trafficking. Human trafficking. Human trafficking.
Of course, the students you see aren't actual victims of trafficking, but use case scenarios to learn what a trafficking victim may go through.
It felt really drawn out, and it was a minuscule amount of time compared to what someone would really go through.
It's an issue that's been swept under the rug. Many people believe that human trafficking only happens overseas, and if it does happen in America, it's only in the bigger cities. But what groups like Stop Traffic and the Shelter are trying to prove is that it happens everywhere, including Colombia.
We probably worked with about maybe 4 who would fall into that category of human trafficking. There's probably many more that we don't have access to or they don't know about us.
The Shelter for Victims of Domestic Violence or Sexual Assault says Colombia's had at least one case in each of the past 5 years. One possible case came up during a prostitution bust 3 months ago. Calling from Boone County Jail and speaking through a translator, the alleged victim says her boss used fear to keep her captive.
She won't let me go. I have no car, I couldn't speak English, where I can go. I don't even know how to buy a ticket.
The woman says her boss transferred her to a former massage parlor in town and made her work for long hours only to keep about half of the pay.
I plan to go to LA and I won't do this job, but she won't let me leave, but I was put in prison now.
She was arrested for promoting prostitution and is also being held on an immigration detainer. Her case is typical of how human trafficking begins. Immigrants come to this country lacking English skills. They need work and living arrangements and end up trapped. Some become sex slaves.
When they came here, they were very much forced into servitude, very much domestic sexual servitude, with no freedom at all.
While others end up in the labor traffic market.
And even if sex wasn't involved, they still may be forced to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, very little contact with the outside world.
And some become the mail-order bride, all of which she says are a form of slavery.
I'm thinking of one woman in particular a few years back who literally ran out of the house screaming in Chinese until somebody found her and helped her, and I wouldn't be able to tell you on television at 6 o'clock or even at 10 o'clock news. You'd have to beep out everything.
Well, it's not a common crime, but for these groups, even one victim is too many.
That's where we really wanted to come in and start talking about what is human trafficking and say, it is actually happening. People just don't recognize it as that yet.
The main reason it goes unrecognized is the blurry line between trafficking and prostitution.
Prostitution, you have your own power and your decisions on your life and on your own body. And trafficking, it's like you don't have any choices.
Local law enforcers admit many prostitution busts, including the current case, show signs of trafficking.
Some of these massage parlors that use immigrants rotate them into a massage parlor so they don't stay too long in any one place. That measure being taken by the proprietors is somewhat indicative that they may be human trafficking.
Still, authorities have not filed any trafficking charges.
We haven't made a case for human trafficking, but throughout the years of looking at the signs that they say human trafficking consists of, I certainly see the signs that as being potential crimes that are occurring here.
Much more involved with human trafficking, so please go to KOMU.com to learn more on this issue. Jim and Lauren, for the second part to the series, we'll show you what steps are in place in preventing this in the Midwest.